Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Not Everybody Needs a Podcast with your host, Mackenzie Rencher. It's crazy that I have that memorized now because we're on episode 19 or something, which is so cool. I was alone this past weekend. Alone. Such a weird way to word that. I had the kids by myself this past weekend because Darian was in Syracuse. Whenever Darian tells me why he's going out of town, I do listen. But it's so hard for me to understand what he has going on. I feel like he has 3 or 4 different projects going at all times. And I just never really know. I think he was there for the spring game and he was talking to the head coach there about something. Maybe we'll get answers next time that he's on the podcast, but I actually have no idea. But he was gone. And so it was just me and the babies this past weekend. And I was freaking out on Saturday. He was supposed to come home until Sunday at noon, and we live 30 minutes from the airport and he has to wait for his bag, so we're really gonna be 1. And I'm calling him on Saturday night just because we talk very frequently whenever he's out of town, and we're either texting throughout the day or he calls me throughout the day. He's really not a big texter, he likes to call, so we call each other a lot throughout the day. And I was just thinking about him, so I'm like, oh, we already said goodnight for the night, but I'm just gonna call him. I think I had a question, I can't remember what it is now. And his phone keeps going to voicemail, which never happens. And even if his phone is dead, it'll still ring. And so I'm like, wait, what is happening? Why is it not answering? Then I text him, I'm like, why didn't you answer? And it goes green. And I'm freaking out and started getting so sketched out. So I go and look at his location and it says Atlanta Airport. And I was like, there is no way that he is surprising me by coming home tonight. And he was already in the air at this point because it was getting a lag location. And then he landed and I asked him all these questions to see how he was going to lie about it. And then I was like, okay, I already knew that you were coming home to surprise me. He's like, you ruined it by blah, blah, blah. And I was like, I honestly didn't mean to ruin it. I was just sketched out. And one thing about me is you're not going to get anything past me, unfortunately. Even when people try to throw surprises for me, I'm like, I can sniff it out from a mile away. But so happy to have him home this weekend. We're going to have, actually tomorrow, we leave tomorrow, which is crazy and so exciting. I've had this planned for 6 months. If you guys remember back in December, I surprised him for Christmas with our honeymoon trip again, which is, we'll be home by now. So it's these overwater bungalows that are in Riviera Maya, I think it's called, in Cancun. And I'm so excited. We're about to go leave tomorrow, spend a few days there. We haven't been away from the kids, the both of us, ever since Kason was born. The last trip that him and I went on together was last June, so almost a year. But even then, it wasn't just him and I. We went with friends on our baby moon when I was pregnant with Monica. We both went. And so him and I have not had one-on-one time together in well over a year. I honestly can't even, I'd have to go back and look at what the last trip we took together was. And so it's just going to be so nice to have alone time, just him and I. It was one of our favorite trips we've ever taken. Obviously, because it's your honeymoon, that's already special. But just the food there, guys. Don't worry, I'm going to be vlogging. I am going to be present in the moment. I'm probably only going to vlog one day while I'm there. But the food is some of the best food we've ever had to this day. Even we were already planning on going back regardless. I just wanted to come earlier. Then I think we're going to go back for our 5-year. And I was like, no, I need to go back now. And the good thing about it is, you're getting this luxurious experience without having to fly super far. So if you guys are wanting obviously it's not the same, but the Bora Bora overwater bungalow vibe without having to fly halfway across the world. Actually, I think it's quite literally across the world. Then this is a good second option. It's called Palafitos. I wish it was sponsored. I truly do, but it's not. We did pay full price. Actually, I do think I got it on a deal, but just because it's around Christmas time. But I'm so excited to have time just him and I and eat. I just want to eat and I just want to lay and I want to tan and I want to come back 4 shades darker. I just I am a better version of myself when I'm tan. Last or 2 weeks ago when I did the episode with my friends, everyone was like, you look so good. And I'm telling you, it's because I was tan. And anyway, I wanted to give you guys an update on my mold because guess what? You're going to get every week. And the update is that I don't really actually have an update. It's that I am still waiting on my mold results and the toxic results. I've been taking my vitamin D. I've been taking my iron for only one day. So I can't really give you guys if it's been making me feel better. I feel like I need to wait a few weeks before I can really let you know. I just know those are the two things I'm deficient in. So if that don't work, I don't know what to do from here. But the mold updates, I've been getting messages from people that live in my neighborhood. And now how do they know that they live in my neighborhood? Not sure. I'm sure like word just gets around and people were like, I don't know. I don't know how they know, but they messaged me and asked if I have an update. And I'm like, it is good to know that people care because listen, I'm going to talk about it. I have to. It's like such a big part of my everyday life. I have been having a little bit of a hard time with posting on social media. I mean, it really was only like one day that I feel like I was really struggling, but it's kind of been lingering a little bit because I stumbled upon some mean comments about myself and it really had me spiraling. And typically I wouldn't care. Like if someone comments on my stuff and it's this, mean comment that is just like out of the blue, I'm like, whatever. But these comments were like so targeted and basically these people just watch my stuff so that they can talk bad about me and say mean things about my body or say mean things about my parenting or whatever. And they just make up the most insane things, like truly insane. And they think that they're correct. My favorite thing that I read was that I left Beckham to go on vacation when she was 4 weeks old. Clearly not true. Would never do that. That's psycho. Listen, if you do that, great. Aspen Ovard left her daughter while she was still in the NICU to go on vacation. And you know what I said? That's none of my business. If that's what she needed to do, she was going through a divorce at the time and was having a hard time. If that's what she felt like she needed to do, okay. I'm not here to judge her parenting, but I did not do that. And it's just funny because it's just like made up stories that these people run with. And even if it's not a made up story, it's just like hateful things. And I think it's just a hard thing for me. I kind of spoke about this on the Assumptions About Me podcast of just being misunderstood, or I don't even know if I'm misunderstood by these people. I genuinely just think that they like have a very crazy hatred towards me. And I just think reading those things, it just bothered me for like a day, honestly. And I was like, it hurts to be hated by some people you don't know. And it just made me start overthinking a lot of things. And I finally just had to be like, you know what? It's none of my business what these people say about me. And inevitably you're going to have people that don't like you. And the more following that you have, the more it's going to come with people that don't like you. And you just have to be okay with that. I ended up watching a TikTok about like just getting hateful comments, and it was really helpful. And just saying like, if this really is your job, you can't let these people in there. It's literally just an opinion. It's not factual about you. These people are just spewing hatred towards you, and it's none of your business. And I said, you know what? It's literally not any of my business. So I said, I'm not going to read that. I'm not going to look at comments like that anymore because it was on this video or whatever. And I was like, I just have to be okay with being misunderstood by these people and let them assume whatever about me. And it's none of my business. And I said, I'm not going to look anymore. And that's my self-control of the day because it's naturally going to happen. Like, I think majority of people have rightful thinking of like people can do things and it's not affecting me. Like, for example, Brooke, I think her last name's Schofield. She just got an upper, I think it's bleph surgery, where you cut the top of your eyelids off, basically. If you have a hooded eyes and you want to like do different makeup routines or whatever, it like kind of covers your eyes. Now, do I think every girl needs to go and cut that off? No, I think that you should learn to live with yourself and not have to change everything about yourself in order to find yourself beautiful. And I think that comes internally, and that's something that you have to work on internally. But also, if she wanted to do that and that would make her feel more beautiful, why are people sitting on the internet and like bashing her for that and saying that she's like setting women back 50 years. I'm just like, bro, stop. You don't have to get the surgery. You work on your internal things and you worry about you being happy with yourself and the way that you look. And that takes sitting with yourself and dealing with some of your insecurities. And you can do that. But you know what route she wanted to take? She wanted to take the route where she cut her eyelids off. Okay. Just let her do it. You didn't have to pay for it. You don't have to do anything for it. It doesn't affect your life and it's okay. And yeah, I just think people were upset with her because they felt like she was making other people not feel confident. But I'm like, she cannot control your insecurities. Like that's something that you have to deal with on your own. And just reading that, I was just like, what is going on? Another what is going on moment of this week for me was Katy Perry going to space. I'm so sorry. What's going on? I was watching the clips of this, guys. I already was confused before I even heard about this. Apparently this has been planned, but I just found out about it. I was watching the clips and respectfully, I do not understand. They went up into space and came back down in 11 minutes. First of all, how? I can't get anywhere in 11 minutes. How are we going into space and then coming back? Did y'all see anything? I'm just so, what was the point? Like respectfully, if anybody understands the point, let me know. And the quote that I saw from Katy Perry was, we're going to put the ass in astronaut. And for me personally, that just put me off. Like I was like, there's just no way that this is not satire. And it was not satire. And I don't want to make fun of them, but I'm just like, bro, what? Can someone please tell me the point? It was not. Also, isn't that like horrible for the environment to be like blasting off into space with no reason? Another thing that I just thought about was, did those people ever make it back to space that were stuck in space for like a year? Does anyone remember that? The girl that was like, I'm not trying to be mean, like the crazy hair, like she had crazy, like it looked like static hair, obviously from being in space. Remember when they were stuck in space? And one, I feel like we did not pay enough attention to that. Two, it always looked like they were faking it. And here's another conspiracy that I have. Why do I never believe that people go to space? Like seeing them touch things, Katy Perry and all of them like touch things in space, like where they were like flicking stuff around or whatever. It looked so fake to me. Like I know it's not, well, I don't actually know. I actually still believe it's fake, but it just does not feel real to me. And then every time I see a video of the rocket going off, it looks green screen. Tell me I'm wrong. Go look up a video, rocket taking off, Katy Perry, and you can't tell me that don't look a little green screen. Because personally, it's just really hard to believe that that is a real thing. I have been living for the Coachella content. I made a TikTok about this. When I know that someone's going to Coachella, like just know you will be in my search history. Like I will be looking at all of your content. The outfits this year were so interesting. I feel like in the past, there was like a very cohesive vibe for the year. And this year, all I can really pinpoint is like micro shorts and belts. Those are the only two things that I feel like I could pick up on. Other than that, it was kind of all over the place. I feel like people were dressing up. Some people were in costumes. Some people were in a t-shirt and shorts, which, you know, do what you have to do. Another thing that I've never seen is people complaining about Coachella, which I think partially is because people just didn't want to be honest and they just want to seem like, oh, this is the best time of my life. And they don't want to like go online and look like they're not having the time of their life. And I have heard about the walking, how you walk constantly. But this year, I feel I've seen a lot more complaining. Or maybe I won't say complaining. I'll say honesty. Because a lot of the people preface the video and they're like, I'm not complaining. I'm so honored to be here. But I just want to be honest about my experience. I walked 10 miles today. And I guess the Ubers can't drop you off near the VIP or whatever. Because I saw one video saying that they need to come up with a system to drop people off closer to VIP because it's a 3-mile walk from where they drop you off at your Uber to the entrance of VIP. And I have always said I want to do Coachella. Like at some point in my life, I have to experience it just because I need to say I did. And I think it would be so fun. Now, do I think that I would have the time of my life and nothing could compare? Probably not. I don't know if the whole walking situation is my thing. And then also the stress of, is my phone gonna die? I'm in the desert. I'm breathing in all this dust. I'm walking constantly. I know my feet are going to have blood on them by the end of this night. Like, I don't know if that's necessarily my thing. And I also am not like a big concert girl. The more I'm talking, I'm really talking myself out of ever going. I told Darian that I do want to go at one point, but I think I just really have to get in the headspace to go. But I think even more so, not knowing if I would like it makes it more exciting to watch content. The vlogs every day, and then also watching people's outfits, and just the whole experience is so interesting, and I just like to watch it. And so it's been so fun, and the fact that it's not over just makes my life. The fact that it's split between 2 weekends and it's not just one big weekend makes me so happy, because now I have things to look forward to this weekend. Even though I'm going to be on vacation, I'm probably going to be off my phone most of the time, I'm still going to be checking in with my faves, because this is my favorite part of the year. It literally looks fake. You guys, my producer just stopped and told me that he just looked up the video of them in space and said it looks fake. So it's not just me. Also, I love that I always prepare a drink and then like I'm talking the entire time and can't actually drink it. But also, if you guys are watching video form, you can't tell me that this Anther cup with strawberries all over it is not the cutest thing you've ever seen, because I had to buy two, because I saw them. I said, this is the most summertime vibe ever. And if I ever need to pick me up in the morning with an iced coffee, this is going to take me to the place I need it to take me. I wanted to talk today about what we think about kissing on the first date. I was going to wait for Darian to be here for this, because I want to hear his take on this. Now, transparently, Darian did not kiss me until he asked me to be his girlfriend. We were like 10 dates in, and there were so many times that I thought, oh my God, is he gonna kiss me? And he never did. He waited till he asked me to be his girlfriend. Wait, do I tell my first kiss story? I wasn't planning on it, but oh my gosh, I have to. Okay, so we were at some of our mentors' house. It was 2 months of going on dates with Darian. Now, mind you, 2 months is not normal 2 months, because he was in camp, so football camp. And so we didn't get to see each other a lot. And so 2 months, it really was like mostly over the phone. And we went on like, I don't even know how many dates. We went on quite a few dates. And I would try to go up there as much as I could. He tried to come to me as much as he could, which was not a lot, because he was in camp at from 6 to 10 every night. Wait, 6 in the morning to 10 p.m. every night. And so, mind you, the 2 months was not actually 2 months. But y'all have probably heard us talk about this if you've listened to any of our stuff before, but he basically went a little while without communicating. And we went up to this parking garage on one of our dates, and I was like, listen, I know your plate is full, but I did not ask to be on it. And if you don't have intentions on being a good communicator or dating me, then let's just end it here. And he wrote this in our vows, because that was the time that he decided, okay, I can't lose this girl. I almost said marry her. That was so dramatic. I want to start dating her. And so one night, I believe it was after a football game, we drove to one of our mentors' house. We were about to go inside and eat dinner. And we were at the bottom of their hill. And I knew something was going on, because he was acting kind of weird. And he was like, okay, well, come over here. And I got out of the car and I walked over to his side of the car, and he got out and he was like, he gave me a whole speech. I can't remember what he said. My memory is so bad. And I probably blacked out because I knew what was going on. And I was like, I don't know, just being 18 and it was just so exciting. And I don't know why 18 makes it exciting. I really just mean I was young. And so I knew kind of what was going on. He's giving me a spiel I really, really like you. I see a future with you, blah, blah, blah. Give me a spiel. And he's like, will you be my girlfriend? Or maybe he gave me a letter. Whatever, it doesn't matter. But I have to ask him. I should have waited so he could give me the details, because he has such a good memory. I believe he gave me a letter, and at the end, he was like, now I just have one question to ask you or something. And then he was like, will you be my girlfriend? And I was like, of course. And then he turned his hat backwards and he gave me a kiss. It was the most innocent, like sweet kiss ever. And I think at that moment I ascended, not sure. I felt like I was on cloud nine. That was like in that moment, the best day of my life. And then we went up and ate some dinner and blah, blah, blah. The rest is history. But it got me thinking, what do we think about kissing on the first date? I feel like I have heard so many different opinions. And I feel like Darian would probably say, like, there's no rush to that if you guys see a future with each other. And I think I'd have to agree. Now, am I judging you if you kiss on the first date? No. I also am just like, it really depends. If this is the person that you have been friends with for a while and you guys have like known each other for a while and you finally took the leap and you're like, okay, let's go on a date. Maybe that's fine. But even then, I don't know if I would be down for that. I think I'd still be like, whoa, partner, take it slow. Especially if you just met somebody. I just don't like, what's your intentions on needing to kiss me the very first time we go on a date? Now, if you can answer those questions for me, then maybe. But I feel like it's just like jumping the gun a little. Now, again, am I judging you if you do? No, because I think every situation is different. And I want to know y'all's thoughts as well. But to me, I'm just like, what are we? Baby, take your time. What's the rush? Y'all know that song? I just like, what's the point here? I feel like we could definitely take it slow. And I just don't know if we need to be out here kissing on the first date. Do you know what I mean? But listen, give me your experience. And if you guys kiss on the first date and it worked out, more power to you. I'm not saying it can't work out or that it's wrong or right. I'm just saying I have to give you it's my podcast. So I feel like I have to give you my opinion. I just don't know if I would. And I didn't. And if Darian would have kissed me on the first date, I probably would have been like, whoa there, partner. Now, did he have to wait that long? I don't know about all that. But he felt like that was the most respectful thing to do. No, actually what happened was that he made a like oath to himself that the next girl he was going to kiss had to be his girlfriend. That's what happened. Because he was out here kissing all these girls. And I think that once he really was like, okay, I want to follow Jesus, I think he just told himself like, okay, I'm not going to be kissing girls or leading them on until it's my girlfriend. And I respect that. Okay. So he made a promise to himself and he kept it. So period. All right, well, let's get into Mackenzie's mindset. If you guys don't know by now what Mackenzie's mindset is, if you have not listened to a podcast episode before, Mackenzie's mindset is a segment that we do at the end of every episode where I give my opinions on your subjects, your scenarios. It's really broad. You guys can give me your exact scenarios or you guys can give me a subject to talk about and I try to get to it. I screenshot them and put them in my notes. So let's get into this week's Mackenzie's mindsets. Okay, the first Mackenzie's mindset is my fiance and I have a 6-month baby girl and I am breastfeeding her. She will take bottles if needed, but I prefer her to be on the breast only if possible. His mom and I have a good relationship, but every week she is texting me when our daughter can go over to her house for the day. I do find it helpful when I need to get things done, but most of the time it feels like she's not wanting to make an effort to spend time in our world, and I don't like to be away from my daughter at this age. Am I being possessive or am I right? She should be coming over and spending time with her at our house. I'd love to hear your take on this as far as in-law boundaries go. 100% she should be coming to your house, in my opinion. I feel like if she wants to be helpful genuinely, then that might take a little bit of sacrifice from her of being like, oh, maybe I need to give up a little more time and drive over there. I don't know why she would not want to watch her over there. I feel like all of our toys are there. You're there. I personally, my son is 7 months old. He has never been out of our care for more than like an hour and a half when we went out on a date night. And even then, he was at our house. Anytime our moms watch the babies, they're at our house. Now, once Beckham turned 2, which I know this sounds dramatic, but like I'm just very, very, very protective. And some of you guys might have different opinions on that, which is okay. But once Beckham turned 2 and she could talk, I started letting her go to my mom's house. Now, mind you, my mom lives 2 streets over. So would I allow that if she lived like 15 minutes away? I don't know. I think I still would at this age where she's able to communicate really well. But I don't know. I can't imagine letting Kason go over to an in-laws house without me there, especially if like he's so young, breastfeeding, needs his mom. I just don't know. I don't know. I feel like that is definitely a conversation that you should have with her and just say, hey, I just want you to know, Darian calls this the sandwich theory. You say something nice, then you say the hard thing, and then you say something nice again. So for example, thank you so much for always wanting to help. It's so helpful for me and I really appreciate it. But I really need your child's name to stay in our house because I just feel more comfortable with him being here. It has nothing to do with you and everything to do with me just wanting to be near him because I love him so much. And then end it with, again, you're so helpful and I really appreciate it. I hope you understand. Period. You can copy and paste that right there. But yeah, that's definitely a conversation that needs to be had if you're uncomfortable with it. And I know for me, I wouldn't be comfortable with that just because I am a little overprotective. But listen, I don't believe in overprotective whenever you are a parent to young kids because you just never know. And you have to be safe out here. Okay. I get so many mother-in-law mindsets that at this point I need to have my mother-in-law come on and talk about how she isn't weird. And maybe y'all can send it to your mother-in-laws and tell them to stop being weird because it's actually insane. The next Mackenzie's mindset just recently got broken up with in my senior year of college. I feel totally blindsided. Any advice from you? Goodness, I'm so sorry. First of all, being blindsided by anything is very hard, especially a breakup when you saw a future with this person. And it's really hard to give advice on because I don't know your exact situation, but I do empathize with you and I'm so sorry. I think my biggest advice for breakups is taking this time to really reflect on yourself. I think that these can be times where you are very tempted to become like overly obsessed with that relationship ending. And I just don't think that that's helpful because you can't control it. And I think the best thing that you can do for yourself is really work on you and who do you want to become. And yeah, that's really my only advice. I know it hurts and I can't sit here and give advice that I wouldn't be able to take because if I got broken up with, I would be heartbroken. And I think you allow yourself to feel those things, but also just not obsessing over the fact that, you know, why did it end? Did I do this wrong? Did I do this wrong? You really can't control any of that. All you can do is become a better version of yourself and just put your time and energy into that. And anytime that you feel like you are spiraling, I don't know. I really can only give advice on my end. If you love Jesus, just like putting your cares at his feet and not obsessing and worrying over what you can't control. That's my final answer. I love you guys. I try to look at all of your comments every week. I'm so appreciative to everybody that listens. It really means the world to me. I try to make my solo episodes longer, but y'all, I'm just yapping to myself. Like I know I'm talking to y'all, but like y'all aren't going to get it for a few days. And I'm just like, I wish y'all could talk back to me in the moment. And I know you guys like longer episodes, so I am going to work on making them longer, but that's why I like to have Darren because I love a good banter. But I love you guys so much. I will see you guys next week with another episode. If you guys are watching on YouTube, subscribe because we're almost to 40K. And if you guys are listening to Spotify or Apple, you guys can follow along there as well. I love you guys and I'm so appreciative. And I will see you next Monday with another episode of Not Everybody Needs a Podcast. Goodbye.